respond. And in this case, since white is already settled on the left, the exchange is likely to be beneficial for black. White actually extends down rather than up. Um, I think this is more focused on points and jumping into the corner. Um, this feels, I guess, a little more over-concentrated, like with the D8 stone, but this would be more concerned with the center. So I guess he's not that concerned about the center. Um, the next move, this move here is also kind of a meek move that, I mean, that was the commentary in general, was that the opening for black is a little passive. Um, this would be a better way to make use of the star stone here, but this was a move that almost was never played during that time. So he does a really loose pincer here, um, which seems kind of slow. White makes a double approachment, and now black attaches, right? So again, this is another lesson in, when is it okay to touch a stone? In this situation, locally, A is in, a 1 against 2 situation. So that means that the white stones relative to black are strong stones. We can't say they're weak. So black touches a strong stone to get out. And the idea is that he wants to touch the one he thinks is stronger so that he can attack the one on the bottom, which he thinks is weaker. Um, and now again, speaking locally, this A stone is weaker than black on the right side, so he's going to Hane. Black's going to extend. White plays the vital point, right? This is the only move in this type of shape. And now where for black? This move is probably obvious for the stronger players, but I just want to check. Right. So this is the move. I've seen a lot of weaker players do this type of thing, um, and this isn't really good. So maybe there's some shape confusion, like in this type of situation. Sometimes I guess weaker players are concerned with being cut, so they play the bamboo. The problem is that with the with the low stone though, this black shape is really awkward. Because white can take the corner and the O3 stone still has all of its liberties. Um, now, if one of the approachment stones was high, if it was this one, now R4 is a problem because this just cuts straight across, right? That's a problem. And on the other hand, this move has become better because it hurts white stone, right? So now, if white does that, black has a clear follow-up. You see the difference? So that's important. In this shape, actually, let me click white's real move first. In this shape, what do we do if white tries to cut us now? Right. You just keep going. Um, and you'll get this stone. So that's this is fine for black. Black can do that. But where did I have that other diagram? When the stone is high, that's different, right? This is the placement of this stone now becomes an issue. So back to the real game, this is kind of like where the actual game is going to start, or the way the commentator put it is that this is the first real test of black's strength. White is trying to do something here. He wants to push and cut around A, and that's why he's attaching. He's touching black's strong B stone, hoping that he can get some forcing moves in the area that are going to help him to push and cut through. So this is the part where black needs to be careful. He has to be aware of the A Aji over there. Um, so Ihane is underneath, which is correct. If he plays the Hane above, white will Hane back, and now white is starting to get stones flowing closer towards this Aji, and it can become an issue. So this is the correct direction, and white cuts here. So what's the meaning of this move? I mean, obviously, black can just capture this stone immediately. What white's trying to do is get forcing moves. So black plays the strong way, which is to Atari here. Um, if black just captures this, white's going to get a bunch of forcing moves and then connect, and now this becomes kind of an issue. So white or black has to fix that. White extends, settling his bottom group. It's also Sente. Black has to, fix with a Dame point, and then white can just extend here. And this flow is pretty good for white because he's settled on the bottom. He also got the useful extension on the right side. So this would be sort of what white is aiming at. And black goes the fighting way. And now this game gets really, really cool. Really interesting now. Um, so how's this ladder? Can white ladder that stone? Right. So this A stone here is barely breaking the ladder, right? So otherwise black wouldn't have played this way, obviously. So if white can't ladder, where should he play? There's kind of like a basic, not basic, but common move in this type of shape for white to do. So the move is here. Um, Again, he's trying to use forcing moves, right? The problem with something like K4 is you're giving it away, right? Like you're going to get, okay, maybe you get like two forcing moves, but it's over, right? Everything's over. All the Aji's gone, and white has these stones here, and he has to deal with it. So that can be sort of an issue. The idea behind this move is, you know, creating like a Miai. Um, Locally, this is single stone against single stone, right? So earlier I said, the rule is that you need to respond in that sort of situation because whoever plays next is going to get an advantage. But if black responds, let me ask first. Where do you think black should play? Any ideas? I kind of hinted already that he's not going to respond to that. So where should he play? There's essentially two things going on here, right? Black has the A stone and he's got the B stone. Um, M4, not quite. So the 3 stones are fine for now. So what he does is he helps the stone directly. No more ladder, and he's putting pressure on white's 2 stones. But what that means is that white got to do something here, right? That was the idea behind this A move. White's going to get some profit over there in terms of getting forcing moves. Now, if black plays here, now your guys' earlier move of K4 is completely different, right? This is much better now. You see? White breaks the bottom, right? And he's got stronger shape. The corner on the left is still open. So that's the idea. And that's what black doesn't want to be squeezed like that. So that's why black plays here. It's more important. So white gets the Hane. Black has to, get more liberties. White gets another forcing move. Again, black has no choice but to respond there. And now white gets this Hane, right? So he's gotten both, Hane at the head of both sides of the 2 stones, which is pretty good. Um, this fight is really quite cool. I think it's a pretty beautiful fight. So black has to save his A stones now, right? Otherwise, the fight's over. And clearly, it's easy to do that by just capturing the K2 stone. But first, he puts a cut in. He wants to cut that first, and then he kills that. Because this stone is an issue for white, right? If black just plays here first, white can play some sort of move to fix. So that's what black doesn't want. He puts the cut in, and then he fixes, and now white's 3 stones have a liberty problem. Um, so he connects to his O3 stone as well. Now, which stone is weakest for black? I guess I gave it away by saying stone since there's only one single stone. This stone, right? This stone definitely needs more liberties. So he extends. Notice that this entire white group is behind enemy lines. But you also have to keep in mind the A Aji, right? So white needs to get out in this situation, but there's a proverb or an idea that oftentimes before doing something, you should use your forcing moves, right? So forcing move, it's guaranteed to be Sente right now because black can't give up the cutting stones. So white wants to do these while they're guaranteed Sente. And then he goes ahead and jumps out here. You may be wondering, what about this, right? And the problem is, I don't think white is really prepared to do this just yet. It's close, but not quite. So I think black can just fix now, and white can't really hope to win that fight. So white has to come out, but now the cut is an issue for black. So he's going to fix here. And this also threatens to connect to this guy, right? And white doesn't want that to happen so easily. So he plays here to disconnect. And this was the only move that was sort of marked as a mistake for white. They thought that this move is better. And the reason is, so let's take a look at what happens. Um, White plays here, which is threatening to Atari next, right? Atari at A and then cut at B. So Black's main concern is connection here, not the corner. You